I'm going to be completely honest here because, honest to God, I think we as a society have it wrong when it comes to self discipline. I don't think self discipline always leads to success, especially the toxic, forceful kind, where you're pushing yourself to do something that the whole of you are resisting. Is it just me, or doesn't it feel too aggressive? Anyway, how I came to this conclusion is I used to be very disciplined. In fact, I used to be the most disciplined person I know. Back before my spiritual awakening intensified, I used to be someone who was perpetually zoned in on my goals. I was always in a rush to achieve something, and then once that was done, I'd rush to achieve the next thing. You see, back then, when I was misaligned with who I am, I constantly felt like I was lacking and that I wasn't enough. Honestly, I suspected that I was dumb. Just to give you a bit of background information, my brother is the genius of the family who analyzes and decodes patterns really quickly. He is very quick and has an exceptional mind. One of those minds that can focus on a problem and construct and destruct several comprehensive solutions, all in the expanse of his mind. It's mesmerizing to witness his thinking process, and I'm very proud of him. And compared to him, I'm more of an abstract thinker, the contemplator, the writer. I like to dwell in my imagination and ruminate on things. I'm much slower to learn, slower to understand things, and slower in general. Now, if you've grown up in an Asian family, you know what they think. You know what they think of artistic people like me. Anyway, I'm telling you all this to say that I thought that I needed to use hard work and discipline to make up for my slowness. So I became the most disciplined person ever. I would schedule every hour of my day. I'd write out detailed plans on my planners. I'd also write my to-do list the night before, go to sleep early, and then wake up knowing exactly how my day was going to go. I was that type of person. I arrived at appointments at least 30 minutes early, and I would chastise myself if I didn't finish my work early, well ahead of deadlines. Now, the ugly side to being so disciplined is that you also become lazy in other areas of your life. You spend all your energy and concentration being disciplined that you don't have the energy to maintain that discipline in other areas. For example, when I was a kid, I got high grades and excellent scores at school, but when I came home, I'd binge watch TV for 7 hours straight. As an adult, I killed it at work. I was on top of things, got my work in ahead of time, and super focused on moving my projects forward. But when I came home, I was mentally depleted, so my apartment was dirty most of the time. My eating suffered too, and I spent a lot of time sleeping a lot and zoning out in front of the TV. Worse, at the end of the day, I felt empty and life felt meaningless because I had spent the whole day living life as an empty shell. You can watch my video titled Procrastination for the whole story. For people like me, what looks like laziness isn't laziness, but it's depletion. It's complete, total depletion of energy. The battery is at 0. So this so-called laziness sets in instinctively for survival, not for self-indulgence. I realized that being disciplined doesn't work for me. After my spiritual awakening, I realized that being disciplined doesn't work for me. The way I was using it anyway, it was pretty toxic. I'm someone who is energy sensitive, and going against my whole being and using sheer will and focus to get stuff done, I find it to be too aggressive and actually counterproductive. Don't you? You're literally fighting against yourself and dragging a part of you along just to reach some goal you've conceived in your mind. Did that work for you? Because it didn't work for me, and it has never worked for me. Especially for people like me, people who are energy sensitive, being disciplined won't result in long-term productivity, but rather frequent burnouts. Believe me, I've tried it so many times, but it always resulted in a burnout. Now, let me share with you what works for me. So if self-discipline doesn't work, what works? What actually works for me is to enter into a calm state, meditative state. You see, you're no longer using the sheer will of your mind to get things done. That's only using one part of you. When you're spiritually awakened, you awaken to all of you, the unified you that is part of the collective, the all. And so constricting yourself to just one part of you, the sheer will of your mind, just doesn't work anymore. You have to go with the flow of everything. In this meditative state, my focus drops down from the head to the heart and expands to the whole being. I become one with a bigger current, a bigger flow. This is what being in the flow means. I'm in the flow with a bigger current, working as a small part in a bigger wheel. It's about releasing control and opening myself up. I also give myself permission to fully immerse myself into the work at hand and not think about anything else. For example, no thinking about what I'm going to do next, or the problem that needs fixing, or the chore that needs to be done. None of that stuff. Those things will get my full attention later, but right now, my focus is fully on what I'm doing. And while I work, if I notice that I'm no longer enjoying what I'm doing, and I'm now just forcing myself, I immediately stop and come back to it later when I can enjoy myself. When I'm in the flow of working, my energy doesn't get depleted, but it gets replenished. So even though I've been working for hours, I find that I have energy to do other things like exercise and do chores after work. Now, the extent I use self-discipline is to show up consistently and diligently. When it's time to work, I show up to my desk, open the right apps, and then I let loose and enter into the zone. I don't have a hard set goal or outcome, but I'm more of the attitude of, let's see where a day of being in the zone takes me. And I make sure I give myself a good experience because I know I won't want to do it again if I don't enjoy myself. In conclusion, what about you? Do you work best with self-discipline, or are you like me and need to be in the flow? Comment down below because I'd love to hear your perspective. Like always, thanks for being here and joining me in this discussion. You know, I always forget to ask that you press the like button, but someone reminded me that I should do that. So thank you to that person. You know who you are. And please click the like button in order to help my channel become exposed to a wider audience. Until next time, regards, Ray.
Oh no.